You're ready. All right. Welcome, everyone. Before we officially call tonight's City Council meeting to order, I wanted to just run through an overview of our agenda, just so that we all have a sense of what we're doing tonight. This is our first meeting of 2023, so Happy New Year, everyone. So this evening, we have, amazingly, a relatively light agenda. I don't think I've said that at one City Council meeting yet. Sorry. But we do have one citizen speaker joining us, and then a scheduled public hearing. We actually will be continuing that to another night. And then we have some routine business to take care of, communications from the mayor, as well as from some other city officers and boards. So we'll take a break for some committee work and be back to take care of that. So with that, Kim is ready in the booth, and I will officially call to order this regular City Council meeting, Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, 7 o'clock p.m. Ms. Kent, will you please call the roll?
Owen? Here. Crowley? Feldman? Here. Hausman?
Here.
Rand?
Here.
Rotundo?
Here.
St. Hilaire? Sweeney?
Here.
And Flowers.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Kent. Councilor Rand, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Councilor Rand. I wanted to take this opportunity as we're getting started also to say a special word of welcome to the Scouts from Scout Troop 2 here in Beverly, who are here with us this evening. And you're working on your citizenship and community badge, is that correct? Do I have the correct name for it? So we're glad that you could join us here, and welcome. Thanks for being here with us. And hopefully it's an interesting and informative time, and I know any of the counselors up here would always be happy to chat with you after the meeting or another time if you have questions. So welcome. Thanks for being here with us. I also wanted to mention, with permission, that Councilor Crowley is not here. Oh, the Scouts are on TV. Congratulations. You are now BevCam famous, everyone.
That's my granddaughter over there.
Oh, I didn't know there was a BevCam connection, Kim. Your granddaughter looks really thrilled about this, Kim. Here. Well, welcome to you all, and to Kim's granddaughter. With permission, I want to mention that Councilor Crowley is not here this evening. Unfortunately, he and his family are all sick, and so he is staying home. I understand he is also watching on BevCam. Hello, Councilor Crowley. We hope you feel better. This is also his anniversary. Happy anniversary. So with that, I think we'll go right to our citizen speaker. Mr. Dean Berg from Green Beverly is here with us. And Mr. Berg, welcome. I know you're no stranger to the podium here, but I'll just say for anyone watching or who's newer to our process, our citizen speaker portion of the meeting is available at every regular council meeting. Citizens can sign up to speak by contacting the city clerk's office by 9:30 the morning of a meeting. And there are 3 spots. They're first come, first serve. And then citizens have the opportunity to address the council for up to 5 minutes. It's a little bit unique because it's not a back and forth conversation, so you won't see councilors engaged in a conversation with citizens, but as I always say, it's a really important time because it often is a way for us to hear from you, get information, and is often a jumping off point for our work and our further conversation. So Mr. Berg, I'll turn it over to you, and you have up to 5 minutes to address us.
Great. Thank you, Madam President and fellow councilors. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Dean Berg, 45 Neptune Street, and I'm representing Green Beverly. And I'm a little congested, so I apologize for that. Tonight I'm going to summarize a report that was released recently, the Massachusetts Climate Change Assessment. The Climate Change Assessment provides the Commonwealth with data-driven roadmap for climate impacts that will affect Massachusetts communities, most significantly, and where urgent action is needed. The climate assessment evaluates 37 climate impacts across 5 sectors and 7 regions within the Commonwealth. Those 5 sectors are human, infrastructure, natural environment, governance, and economy. And I'll go through each of those 5 sectors and list the 3 or 4 top impacts per sector. So within the human sector, there are 3 urgent impacts. One is health and cognitive effects from extreme heat including premature death and learning loss. The second one is health effects from degraded air quality, including childhood asthma cases and premature death due to climate impact on particulate matter and ozone air quality. And the third one is emergency service response delays and evacuation disruptions from extreme storms, leading to injuries, loss of life, and requiring health, safety, and traffic first responders. Within the second sector, the infrastructure sector, there are three urgent impacts. One is damage to inland buildings and heavy rainfall and overwhelmed drainage systems. Damage to electric transmission and utility distribution infrastructure associated with heat stress and extreme events. And the third one is damage to rails and the loss of rail/transit service, including flooding and track buckling during heavy heat events. The third sector, natural environment, has four urgent impacts. One is freshwater ecosystem degradation due to warming waters, drought, and increased runoff. The second is marine ecosystem degradation because of the warming, particularly in the Gulf of Maine, and ocean acidification. The third one is coastal wetland degradation from sea level rise and storm surge. And the fourth one is forest health degradation from warming temperatures, changing precipitation, increasing wildfire frequency, and increasing pest occurrence. The fourth sector is governance, and there are three urgent impacts within governance. The first one is reduction in state and municipal revenues, including a reduced property tax base due to coastal and inland flood risk. The second one is increase in cost of responding to climate mitigation, including planning for abrupt changes in local populations. And the third one is increase in demand for state and municipal government services, including emergency response, food assistance, and state-sponsored healthcare. The fifth sector, economy, has three urgent impacts. Reduced ability to work, particularly for outdoor workers during extreme heat, as well as commute delays due to damaged infrastructure. Decrease in marine fisheries and aquaculture productivity from changing ocean temperatures and acidification, which leads to decreased catch and revenues and impacts on related industries. And the third one is reduction in the availability of affordable priced housing from direct damage, i.e. flooding, and the scarcity caused by increased demand. There are two additional impacts that are regional in nature, so these are not part of the statewide impacts across those five sectors. And within the North Shore and South Shore region, there are these two additional urgent impacts. One is damage to coastal buildings and ports, and the other is reduction in food safety and security. So as you can see from most of these urgent impacts, this is not something that affects a minority of people, this is something that affects us all. And if you're interested in digging deeper into the report, I'll give you the URL. You can find it at mass.gov/info-details/Massachusetts-climate-change-assessment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Berg. Thank you for your time. Thanks for being here with us, and thanks to you and the other members of Green Beverly for the work that you're doing. If you would have the time to do it at some point, if you want to send that URL on to Ms. Kent as well, then she could share that with counselors if they're interested in being able to pursue looking at that. So thank you. With that, we'll go on to acceptance of minutes of previous meetings. And I'm going to take these as two separate votes because in one case, Counselor Rand was able to be with us and the other she was not. So we'll do as two separate votes for ease and to make it clean for her to be able to vote on one, not the other. So the first is our regular City Council meeting, December 5th, 2022. I would entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries 8-0. The other is our regular City Council meeting from December 20th, 2022. I would entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Councilor Rand, thank you. So that carries 7-0 with one abstention. Ms. Kent, let's go to communications from His Honor the Mayor, please.
Order number 1, dear Honorable City Council, I am pleased to inform you that the City of Beverly has been awarded a $24,995 FY23 Firefighter Safety Equipment Grant from the Mass Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. This grant funding will be used to purchase 1 accountability board and a passport accountability tag for each of our fire department members. Also, we will purchase 7 sets of the turnout gear, coats, and pants that have exceeded the 10-year threshold or are unusable as result of wear and tear of damage. Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A requires both City Council and Mayor approval before any grant, earmark, donation, or grant to the city can be extended for this prescribed purpose. I therefore request the City Council approve this grant at your upcoming meeting. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Thank you. Please refer that to the Committee on Finance and Property.
Order number 2. Dear Honorable City Council, I hereby reappoint, subject to your review, as provided in Section 2-10 and Section 3-3 of the Beverly City Charter, Stephanie Williams to serve as Beverly City Solicitor for a period of 3 years. Her term is to be effective from January 22nd, 2023 through January 21st, 2026. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Thank you. Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Order number 3, appointment for the Director, Dear Honorable City Council, I hereby reappoint, subject to your review, as provided in Section 2-10 and Section 3-3 of the Beverly City Charter. Brian Ailes to serve as Beverly Director of Municipal Finance and Treasurer for a period of 3 years. His term is to be effective from January 22nd, 2023 through January 21st, 2026. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Please refer that to the Committee on Finance and Property.
Order number 4. Dear Honorable City Council, I hereby request, subject to your review and recommendation, Ms. Joanne Panuzio from 31 Old Planters Road, Beverly, and Ms. Colleen Michaels, 18 Madison Ave, Beverly, to serve as trustees of the Beverly Public Library. Their terms are to be effective from January 31st, 2023 until January 31st, 2026. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Please refer that to the Committee on Public Services.
Order number 5. Dear Honorable City Council, I am hereby appoint, subject to your review and recommendation, Cheryl Silva, MD, 95 Hale Street, Beverly, to serve on the Beverly Board of Health. Her term is to be effective until December 31st, 2025. Sincerely yours, Michael P. Cahill, Mayor.
Please refer that to the Committee on Public Services as well. Let's go to communications from other city officers and boards, please, Ms. Kent.
Order number 6, from the city clerk, a renewal of application for a lodging license for Garden City residents, 490 Rantoul Street.
Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Order number 7, from the city clerk, for a renewal application for a lodging license for Grigor Krajazi of 32 Broadway.
Please also refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs. Communications, applications, and petitions, please.
Order number 8, from the Danvers Town Manager, Steve Bartha, intent to waive payment in lieu of tax fee assessed by the City of Beverly for fiscal year 2022 of $6,736.92 in conjunction with the operation of the Beverly Airport.
I would entertain a motion to receive that and place it on file.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 8-0.
Order number 9, a notice availability of response to comments, Phase 2 summary, former Varian facility site, 150 Sawyer Road.
Please refer that to the Committee on Public Services.
Order number 10, Department of Public Utilities, notice of filing and request for comments.
I'd entertain a motion to receive that and place it on file.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 8-0. I would entertain a motion to take a break for some committee work.
Second.
Good job, everyone. We're all on top of it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So we will take a brief break for some committee work. Most committees have a few items that can be acted on in the time frame we have tonight. I know Legal Affairs has things coming up on their agenda for committee night meetings, and Public Services has some things down the road as well. So we'll take care of the things that can be done tonight. Let's have Legal Affairs stay here on BevCam. Let's have Public Services in the committee room, please, and Finance and Property on the bench. All right, take a break.
Okay, we're calling to order the Legal Affairs Committee. And we just have a few things on our agenda here. And actually, before I forget, I want to make an announcement about some of our upcoming meetings. On January 9th, the Legal Affairs Committee will be meeting here in council chambers at 6:30 p.m. And our main topic of discussion will be the mayor's response to our proposed amendments for the Beverly Home Rule Charter. So on January 9th at 6:30, if you've been following the charter discussion, tune in. BevCam will be recording and streaming us. Thank you, BevCam. And also you could join us to enjoy the discussion that evening. Another update on our Legal Affairs Committee meetings is that on January 30th at 7 p.m., Legal Affairs will be back here in council chambers. Our main topic of discussion for that evening will be the proposed zoning ordinance amendments that we recently had a public hearing on. So the Legal Affairs Committee will be discussing those proposed zoning ordinance amendments. Thank you. Now I can check that off my list for reminders. Okay, so this evening we are going to take up just order number 6, actually, which is lodging house renewal application for Garden City Lodging House, which is on Rantoul Street, and I believe we have the owners of the Garden City Lodging House here with us. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm actually going to, first of all, publicly thank the Legal Affairs Committee for caring for legal affairs while I could not be here. And we'll also turn over to Councilor Rotundo. I believe you had some questions about this application when it came in front of us and have done some background research and have some ideas about how to move forward.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. And I do want to make a few clarifications for the record as well. This license was meant to be the original September 20th, 2022 license. It was, in my feelings, was to extend the license to keep them in compliance. So it was suggested and discussed at our Legal Affairs Subcommittee meeting to extend it to January 15th of 2023 in order for me to follow up with concerns with the Board of Health report and as well as to check in with the Police Department's report. I have had the opportunity to talk with Mr. Reale from the Board of Health and as well as the Community Impact Unit from the Police Department. I still have some concerns, but I'm very cognitive and aware that we don't want to put anyone, make them homeless. We want to also give the opportunity for the property owner to still come in compliance. It's my understanding that Mr. Reale is supposed to do a re-inspection. I believe, let me finish. So what my understanding, and I haven't had the opportunity because of the holidays to follow up with Mr. Reale on the re-inspections. I understand that a couple of things were immediately to be addressed, and you had addressed them with the pest management company. I know that there was concerns with some windows not being able to be opened because of ventilation possible issues and a few other things. I'm aware that those things can't necessarily be done immediately, that it may take a little additional time. We don't want to not give you a license. What we want to do is, and I'm going to ask the committee, is if to consider extending this temporary license out for an additional 30 days for me to follow up with Mr. Reale. From the report, it was first inspected on the 6th, to give you 30 days to comply with some of the things. Him and I did have a lengthy conversation, and Mr. Reale is very understanding. I've dealt with him personally as a business owner myself. He's sensible, and I'm aware that some things may take a little longer. I just want to make sure that these things that have some concerns to me as well as to the Board of Health, that they're fully in compliance. Whether the committee itself asks to have you guys come back an additional 30 or 60 days, we can discuss that as well. But again, I want to reiterate, we're not looking to have you reapply for a new license. We're looking to extend the temporary license from the original date of the license of September 20th of 2022. The original request was to keep it at least till the 15th of January of this year of 2023. I'm going to ask and request of this legal committee if we could at least consider extending it for an additional 30 days or let me actually propose till the last day of February of 2023 for a temporary license.
Okay.
Just one other thing, Mr. Dole, is there anything that I may have missed? I just want to make sure that I want to be emphatically clear, and I don't want to miss anything, to keep everyone on the same page.
Good evening, Assistant City Solicitor Jesse Dole. Just for the record, Counselor, just to clarify, this is a continued consideration of the original September 2022 application.
Correct.
And you're just, I guess, just to clarify for me, you will continue the consideration of the application to, I think did you say 30 days from?
Yeah, 30, till, I said February, end of February, so I can order for me to, again, holidays were around, people took some time off, I wasn't able to connect with Mr. Real for the, well, actually, reality is 30 days is January 6th, from my understanding of the report, so I just want to make sure that Mr. Real is comfortable with the progress of the, some of these infractions.
And I would just say, if you've not heard any concerns from Inspector Reale, that you would worry about that these violations, or at least the failed inspections, would be an issue of safety to the residents.
Correct.
If you've not heard anything such as that, it would be the committee would have the authority to continue consideration of the September application to a further date. And you have the authority to either extend the temporary license or grant a successor temporary license that would be effective January 16th until whatever date that you'd like to have it end on.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dole.
I have one question for you, Mr. Dole, just related to that. So then let's say that we extend this temporary license basically until the end of February. At that time, we could take a vote to approve the 2023 license,
yes.
right?
I mean, you could take a vote at
We
any
could
point.
do that now, right?
To do that, you have the authority to take a vote to, I'm not suggesting this is something you do, but you could vote to, 7, 14, 30, 90-day license, and continue the consideration of the application. I'm not suggesting you need to do that, but that would be the authority that the committee does have.
Thank you. Councilor Sweeney, do you have any questions in this matter?
Not directly on this matter, but I do have a follow-up, on Councilor Rotundo's point about the extension.
Sure.
Just to make sure that I'm understanding correctly, based on your statement, it appears that you would like to propose something close to a 60-day extension, essentially, from where we are now, of a temporary license to the end of February. Did I understand that correctly?
So, yes, I mean, right now I'm looking at my calendar. Our next council meeting's February 21st. I may propose extending it to the February 21st meeting, which would allow us to at least, for me to get an update from Mr. Reale from the Board of Health, see where it's at, and then we can take consideration there. So at least extending the current temporary license of till January 15th, extending it till February 21st, which would be our city council meeting, the last council of the month of February. I did say the end of
And
February,
that's where
but
the roughly 30-day timeline is.
yes, I mean, obviously it's a little longer than that,
Yep.
but, that's the gist of it, is to kind of give them 45 days, whatever amount the time is.
All right. I have no issue with that approach. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I know we have tonight the owners of the Garden City Lodging House with us. Is there anything you wanted to share with the Legal Affairs Committee? Or any questions? Yeah, you could come up. Yeah, please, you could go to the podium and just say your name and address for our records. And if you have questions or...
My name is George Kalkos. I live in Lynn, 26 Priscilla Way.
Thank you.
Along with my brother, we own the Garden City residence for 18 years. To my knowledge, I don't know about the September 22nd dates and everything and applications. We know we're getting a license for the lodging house that's good from the January 1st until December 31st. Around November, October, the end of October, I'm getting phone call from City Hall, and the city clerks the lovely ladies that work there, they say, well, seriously, when, Mr. Skalkos, can we come for the inspections? I say, I have no problem, we set a date. They come, all four departments, health, building, electrical, and which one am I missing?
Fire.
Fire, yeah.
And
Fire.
fire, my buddy Jake. It's a simple thing that we've been doing for 18 years. They come, they look, we go through all the rooms, they give us a list, we fix the list, they come, they do ask for a reinspection, and that's how we get in the license. Now this year was a different year altogether. First time I had to deal with Mr. Riali, he's a lovely man, because we used to deal with Mr. Goodwin. We had a date for November 14th. I don't have to do anything extra because the place there, you can take a ride and see. We run it in an impeccable way. And the council earlier said about police reports. To my knowledge, there's no crimes committed there because we clean the place and you can check that. I don't speculate. So I'm waiting at 9 o'clock for all departments to show up so we can start the inspection. Because the tenants, the type of tenancy, they are the good people, they are very territorial. They gotta have a week's advance notice that we're gonna do that, even though it's a yearly thing. So I was there, of course, 8 o'clock, and then the fire department shows up, and they said, no, we'll not do the inspection today. I said, Jake, what's going on? No, he says, because you haven't got your inspection for the sprinklers. You're supposed to do it. Yesterday was the last day because we do it every year. That was the 14th of November. And the inspection was supposed to take place the 15th. I say, man, I didn't know that. Every year, what we do, you come here, and I provide, along with the work you need to be done. Oh, no, he said, we cannot do it. I said, you don't do it? Okay. So what I did, I called the sprinkler company. They got there the same day. We did the inspection. And there's a point that I want to make. They show me what the Mass state law says, that the places you inspect once a year, you have a 3 months. You can do it either 9 or 15 months. Now, they cancel on their own without notifying me. That's one thing. And I was fuming. They left. And at 10:35, Mr. Riali showed up to see how discombobulated the whole thing is, looking to do the inspection. I'm losing my mind. From the health department. The lady from the city council, from the health department, she calls me. Her name is Pamela, lovely woman. She apologized profusely for the misunderstanding. And I told her, I say, this is not easy things. You know, we have to notify 48 tenants that this is the date. Some people take off from work because they don't want anybody in the room. And nobody takes the time to call me and tell me so I can notify him. So we set up another date to accommodate everything. We have to give new notices to the people. I got my inspections for the sprinklers and the fire. They all came there. Now, the electric department, the building department, and the fire department, they were doing their job and they were going. Normal stuff. The health department was lagging behind. Like they were looking to find what? What people think, that the people they live there, they are stupid, or the owners, we are stupid, and we've been doing it all our life. You know, I've been doing that for 50 years. And this for 18 years. So one thing was leading to another. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was getting very frustrated because it was like a witch hunt. I say, why are you checking the water, the temperature, when I tell you there's only 2 sources, 32 units getting water from there and 16 from there. Why do you have to open all three sources of water? The faucet, the kitchen, and the bathtub. You wasted my money. And then they start.
I'm gonna stop you just right there, just for one moment.
Please do.
First of all, to say I'm sorry that you had so much frustration with this process, that would be frustrating, and especially you're dealing with so many people, so many individuals in their homes. And then I'm also gonna pause just to say, it sounds like you might have some follow-up questions about the inspections, which I'm happy, any of the three of us would be happy to work with you on. And I just wanna pause before we get too deep into.
We're not getting, Estelle, we don't get in
process.
too deep. My point is this.
Oh, I'm
We've
sorry.
been doing it for 18 years.
I'm just gonna pause you
Can
there.
I see you for a minute? Can I approach the counter?
Yep, after, if
No, I
you
want
would
to show you
like.
something to see what I'm dealing with.
Okay,
Allow me, please.
may I please finish my sentence? I understand you're frustrated, I just want to tell you what we're doing as this committee tonight, so that you can kind of rest easy with the process going forward. So I'm gonna, as hard as it's gonna be, I'm gonna ask you just to pause for one moment while I do that, okay? I totally understand. I can tell, and that's why I kind of want to just take a break from that right now, because we're not here to relive the painful parts, okay? So, right now, I want to share with you that we're, as a committee, we need to take a vote on extending your license, and we'll have separate conversations with you about any other questions or problems that you have going forward. This does not mean that your license is in danger. It just means that there are a couple of things that some of the counselors want to learn more about and make sure are totally checked off the list. So we're not doubting your integrity, to be very clear. I see that you have integrity and have been doing this for a number of years very well. So, before, hey, hold on, I'm sorry to stop you. Before we get, this committee has to take a vote now, or else this will not be resolved. So we're gonna do that at this moment, okay?
I had to tell you exactly what happened.
Right.
That's what happened.
Right now, we're gonna do the vote first, okay? All right, thank you for your understanding, I really appreciate it. Okay. Say that again? Oh, call to order committee of the whole, thank you.
Can I motion?
Yes, please.
Madam Chair, may I motion to extend this temporary license from the current January 15th, from the initial license of this, September 20th or 22nd when it was filed, to extend it to the February 21st meeting date of 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. So, we will, thank you for being patient with me and for pausing there. I know that was really hard. And I hope we get to talk again after this meeting. And, you know, any of us can reach out to you with other questions, and you can reach out to us about this whole process. Thank you for being here tonight. It means a lot. And then we actually have one more piece of business we need to vote on before the council meeting can continue. So, thank you for your patience. We'll take up also order number 7, which is another lodging house licensing for a renewal application for a lodging house license for Grigor Kajarzi for 32 Broadway. Any questions or comments from committee members on the renewal of this license? Councilor Rotundo.
Obviously, again, it's to do with the health inspection, the housing inspection report. I know there's a couple of things on it. One of it was to do with the boiler in the basement did not appear to be operating. But that's the only question I had, and I can follow up on that one. So that's, and I'm assuming the owner's not here from the building. Okay.
No. Any questions? Councilor Sweeney.
Just one quick question,
Sure.
building off of Councilor Rotundo's points in looking through the report from the Board of Health. It's my understanding, given the time frame listed, even if we were to approve the license here, there's still this prescriptive remedy that, multiple remedies that need to be undertaken in order for any license to take effect beyond this provisional 30 days that they were given to remedy a violation, correct?
I think, yeah, maybe Mr. Dole could help us with that, but I believe this is just a renewal application, so I don't, we could vote for it to be a provisional.
I wouldn't
Provisionally
think we would
granted.
need to. Essentially, I'm just looking to confirm. It looks like there were a handful of violations cited.
I'm sorry, Councilor Sweeney, I didn't catch the question.
So the question in short is just, we have before us a vote to approve the application. It looks to be that there were a handful of violations cited in the report by the Board of Health. Approving this application would still mean that these violations need to be remedied and approved by the Health Department before any long-term.
It is up to your discretion whether to grant this license based on what's before you. If you have concerns that you don't think it's appropriate to grant the license at this time based on those inspection reports, and I have no idea if those inspection reports rise to the level of a concern on the behalf of either the health department, the fire department, police department, et cetera, that this is a safe place for people to be staying. I can't speak as to that, or whether it's appropriate to either deny the license at this point, grant a temporary license with a return date to have follow-up inspection, remediate whatever these failures are and have it re-inspected. I can't speak for the people who perform the inspections. What I can say is you do have the authority, similar to what we just did, to not take a final action on the application. If you wish to grant a temporary license for some period of time to allow for remediation and reinspection, and then set a date to have a final consideration on the application, you can do that. But I can't speak to whether, as to this applicant, that would be appropriate, given I have no idea what the nature of the violations or the shortcomings were in the inspections and who inspected. So,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dole. And I guess my question to you, Madam Chair, if you've had experience with this in the past, do we typically just renew the licenses and then it's incumbent on the health department to follow up afterwards?
We've done all sorts of things with
Yeah.
it, so it's really the nature of the sort of follow-up violations, or not violations, but things to fix. And I think where we're already going to review one extended license on the 21st, I'm inclined to do the same with this one.
Madam Chair, the one
Councilor
violation
Turner.
that I had the concern, which was the boil, I just saw it in the comment and I didn't even notice it. My apologies, is the owner did repair the boiler, and so the immediate action, which was the only one concern that I had, because that's more of a heating/hot water concern, but it appears that it had been rectified. So that was my only one concern. The rest of the reports seem to be more house cleaning. Nothing of a major concern to me, so I'm okay with moving forward and voting for the reissuing of the license. That's just me. Like I said, my first appearance was the boiler system, but now that I've read it and I missed it for some reason on the first time glance, was the 130 report boiler had been repaired, so it was repaired immediately. 201,750 on the report.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And I just missed it for some reason. The other ones were 30 days, but they
Okay.
were less of a violation of concerns, more so that was the one that I only had, and it was immediately repaired.
Okay. There was some on here that I feel personally would feel better about. I see that the time frame for these, to repair these violations, is 30 days. So I would feel more comfortable getting confirmation that all of these violations have been dealt with before approving this license as well.
Motion to extend this temporary license till our next meeting, which would be January, bear with me, 17th, so January 17th. So extend this current application to extend the license to, temporary license to January 17th meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And
Okay.
Councilor Rand, just for a point of clarification, I think Councilor Sweeney might have asked this, and I think you asked it too. At least according to our ordinances dealing with lodging houses, for the renewal process, all inspections are supposed to be completed and reports provided to the clerk's office recommending either to grant or deny the application by at least December 7th. So there really isn't, I know that it may have been the process in the past that the license be issued pending or contingent on inspections. That is not what the ordinances require, that the inspections be completed, and either they are recommended that they be approved or denied prior to December 7th, which is why both myself and Solicitor Williams have stated, you do have the authority to grant a temporary license, but at least for the purposes of issuing the full license, there is no authority under the ordinances to do that absent inspection reports recommending the issuance of the license.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, any other questions on those orders? Okay, so that's all we have in front of us, right? Okay, I would accept a motion to, we need to do committee of the whole, right? To adjourn committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Actually, we lost committee of the whole already. Oh, no, we do. Okay, good. Okay, you were blending in over there, Counselor Feldman. Okay, and motion to adjourn legal affairs committee.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Public Services?
Kind of like, I think Ross was needing you to go to his
All right.
bachelor party for his.
Thank you. We'll call the full city council back to order. And we will do reports from committees. We do have a posted public hearing for 8 o'clock. This is one that will be continuing. We don't have our National Grid representative here, and we're waiting for some more information from the city as well, from our engineering department. But I will say, if there are members of the public who are interested in speaking at 8 on 287, this is a National Grid petition regarding plastic gas main on Hale Street. I would certainly take comments from the public before we recess it. So if anyone is dashing here now, you can still speak. But let's do reports from committees, please, Ms. Kent.
Order number 267, the Committee on Finance and Property, to whom refer the matter, request to consider delegating the council president the power to do an annual request and evaluation of the clerk's work performance in March every year. Have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve the request.
Questions or comments? Question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 8-0.
Order number 1, the Committee on Finance and Property, whom referred the matter regarding a grant for $24,995 from FY23 for firefighter safety from the EOPSS, considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this request.
Questions or comments on this one? Question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries 8-0. And thank you to Ms. Barrett and to our Fire Chief, Peter O'Connor, for their work on obtaining this grant. Helps to keep our firefighters much safer.
Order number 9, the Committee on Public Services, to whom referred the matter regarding a notice of availability of response to comments Phase 2 summary former Varian facility site, 150 Sawyer Road. Have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Receive and place on file.
Questions or comments? Question comes on the,
I would like to add that this is the one that we're going to be discussing later for the next comment period. So, no, this is order number 9.
This is order
This is
number 9
order
that you're
number
voting on. Correct.
Which is the response from Varian to our previous letter on Phase 2.
Oh, okay, I was mixing up which, okay, so order number 9 is these are available. We're just letting you know that these are now available, and if you have need any help looking it up, we can point you in the right direction, so contact us. Okay.
thank you. Thank you, Councilor Feldman. So I would entertain a motion to receive this and place it on file.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Carries 8-0. I think she had something to say about that.
Oh, well, I think just to Councilor Feldman's point, the two steps in the process are related. So if you want to see Varian's response to our last letter, that's the link that we just filed. And the other point is being held in committee so that we can create a joint response. But the public information meeting about Phase 3 is not until January 24th. So we have time to attend that, read the Phase 3 report, think about it, and then in committee workshop a response.
Thank you very much, Councilor Bowen. And that will be similar to the way that we did a council communal response prior. It will just allow public services to work on that together. So thank you, councilors. Ms. Kent.
Order number 6, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding a renewal application and temporary lodging house license for Garden City residents, 490 Rantoul Street, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the license be granted temporarily extended to the February 21st meeting.
Are there questions or comments on this one? Councilor Rotundo.
Just for clarification for those who may, the Garden City, the owners of the complex were here in front of us. We still had some follow-up questions to have with Mr. Reale from the Board of Health. Again, we don't want to have them in non-compliance. We don't want to put anyone out in the cold, but we also want to make sure that all our answers are fully answered. We will have, hopefully, the answers in final discussion on it at our February 21st meeting, which will allow us to dig in if anyone may be away from COVID or whatever the case. So this is, we've granted us a little more time on it.
Thank you, Councilor Rotundo. So I would end, any other questions or comments on this one? Sorry. I would entertain a motion to issue the temporary license and extend to February 21st and refer that back to legal affairs for follow-up at that point.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That carries 8-0.
Order number 7, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding a renewal application for a lodging house license for Grigor Jurazazi, 32 Broadway, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the license to be temporarily granted until the January 17th meeting.
Thank you. Questions or comments on this one? Counselor Ram, are you raising your hand? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was considering it, but no, I'm good.
Okay.
So moved.
Thank you, and let's do this one, just make sure that this works for both of you who just moved and seconded it. Do it the same way, so temporary, the license until our January 17th meeting, and refer this back to legal affairs so it can be followed up on at that point.
Please.
So moved.
Okay, you're still both good with it?
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 8-0. And I'm remiss in not saying in the full council that our Assistant State Solicitor, Jesse Dole, is here with us as well. Thank you, Mr. Dole. I know you probably already got introduced at Legal Affairs, but thank you, Mr. Dole, for being here with us.
That's all I have for committee.
Oh, okay. That was it. All right. So, Counselor Rand, I think you might have addressed this in Legal Affairs, but just for the benefit of the full council, do you want to mention the 2 upcoming Legal Affairs meetings and the topics that we'll be covering?
Yes, thank you so much. So we'll have, Legal Affairs Committee will be meeting on Monday, January 9th at 6:30 PM here in council chambers, and the main topic of discussion will be the mayor's response to Order 275A, proposed amendments to our home rule charter. And then we will also have a meeting of the Legal Affairs Committee on January 30th. And the main topic of discussion, or main agenda item for that meeting, will be the proposed zoning amendments. And that, the 30th, will be meeting at 7 PM. I do have one other meeting to add to that
Please.
list of the Citizens Advisory Committee for the National Grid Project. Will be meeting at 5 PM in the Barnett Gallery at the Public Library this Thursday. So January 5th, 5 PM, Public Library, Barnett Gallery, the Citizens Advisory Committee for the National Grid Project. And anyone is welcome to attend that meeting.
Thank you very much, Counselor
you.
Rand. Counselor Feldman.
Thank you. I would also like to
Please.
announce some public services subcommittee meetings that
Thank
we
you.
have on the calendar. On January 9th, similarly, in a staggered meeting update, we are going to have a 7 PM meeting in the conference room here regarding an update with the city parks, with the Parks Department. Sorry, I just blanked out. With the parks permitting process that we had discussed in 2022. And then on January 30th, again, we have at 6 PM a staggered meeting with Legal Affairs as well, with an update on the Beverly Regional Airport and the stormwater management, the flooding in Ward 2. So Public Services and the Airport Commission will be at those meetings to give an update at 6 PM for however long it takes. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Counselor Feldman. And so, of course, we'll have both of those cross-posted with Committee of the Whole as well, so those subcommittees and any other counselors as well. I think that brings us to 8 o'clock. So we will open our posted public hearing on Order 287. This is the National Grid's petition to install approximately 8,050 feet of 12-inch 60 PSIG plastic gas main on Hale Street. This has been continued from December 5th and December 20th. Do you want to read the order?
Order number 222-287, City of Beverly ordered that the City Council of the City of Beverly hold a public hearing on Monday, December 5th, 2022 at 8:20 PM at 191 Cabot Street, 3rd floor, Council Chambers. Live stream on BevCam relative to the petition from National Grid for a petition to install plastic gas main on Hale Street extended from the existing stub near Cabot to be the regulator station at Boyle Street. And this is, Council President said, continued from December 5th and December 20th.
Thank you.
And this was in the newspaper on November 25th.
Thank you, Ms. Kent. I don't see that we have any members of the public here tonight to speak on this public hearing, and as I mentioned, we have some information that we're waiting to receive from the city engineering department and have our National Grid rep be able to be here at the same time and give us some more information. So I would entertain a motion to recess this public hearing to our January 17th meeting at 7:45 PM.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 8-0, so we'll recess this hearing to our January 17th meeting at 7:45 PM and be able to have a fuller conversation at that point. Councilor St. Hilaire, Councilor St. Hilaire, I meant to ask you, unfinished business from a previous meeting, do you want to continue to have Order 237 there as we're leading up to this other zoning conversation?
Yeah, I guess, is there any update on the zoning, or where do we stand?
The last that, Councilor Rand, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, so currently, the proposed zoning amendments are in the Legal Affairs Committee, so we'll have a full discussion, which will include, Darlene Nguyen will also be at that meeting on the 30th, so that we can, continue to ask questions and have a complete discussion through the Legal Affairs Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor St. Hilaire, would you like to have it continue on the agenda then in light of that fact?
Yeah, and I expect we'll have the planning board recommendation by then, is that the expectation?
That's the expectation, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I guess just to add on to what Councilor Rand had said, that conversation includes the full scope, the proposed amendments that we received from planning, as well as amendments that we received from Councilor Houseman as well. So we'll be able to have a full conversation. Councilor Rand.
My apologies. I should have also mentioned that the Solicitor's Department will also attend that meeting.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Councilor St. Hilaire. Any other reminders or announcements that anyone has? All right, well, as we just heard, there are subcommittee meetings for January 9th. We've got Public Services at 7 PM and Legal Affairs at 6:30 PM. And then our next regular meeting will be a Tuesday again because of a Monday holiday. So January 17th, that is the day after Martin Luther King Day, and that will be at 7 PM. Councilor Rotundo.
Madam President, I was debating this. I do want to just mention, because the Folly Hill fire that happened
Please.
and all the organizations that have been involved, I just want to kind of put a thank you out to all of them. There was Beverly Bootstraps, Salvation Army, Red Cross was phenomenal. The mayor's office, Senator Lovely, Representative Paracello was there. The management company as well, Beverly Housing Authority. So all these agencies that are within the city of Beverly were phenomenal. They were available, even though it was a long weekend, it was a vacation weekend off, they were taking my phone calls and really were able to gather up. I'm hoping with your help at some point to maybe work on creating some sort of a crisis committee where instead of making personal phone calls, that we're able to do a one-shot deal for any type of crisis where all these agencies are able to come about. The Red Cross was very impressed with how quickly the city of Beverly, the organizations were able to mobilize to help these families. It's a long road, and I just want to recognize all their help from what they've done so far. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rotundo, and I know you won't thank yourself, but I know you were there right away, and you've been working really closely with everybody impacted. So thank you also for your work for your constituents there. Obviously a terrible fire and terrible story, and so thank you, Councilor, for being on the ground with everybody. Any other announcements that anyone has for the good of the order? Well, me neither. All right, well, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 8-0. Thank you to Kim in the booth. Happy anniversary, Councilor Crowley. We hope you feel better soon. We're adjourned.